How's everybody feeling about their ROI prospects? Who feels like really good about their ROI? Why are you feeling good?
Because it's looking good.
Because it's looking good? What does looking good mean?
The numbers are nice.
The numbers are nice. What do the numbers are nice mean?
So my expected ROI is 1,097%.
So you're expected.
Yeah.
Okay, and
That's
do I care about what's expected or do I care about actuals?
Okay, that's what actually happened.
Oh, that's what actually happened. So tell me what actually happened.
I sold the shirts for $20.
So hold on, I gotta find you. Where am I? Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Hi, Yoel. Remind me your name. Aralise. Hello, Aralise. You guys can sit down over there on the couch, get comfortable if you like. So where am I? So you were gonna sell it for 20, and you did.
Yeah.
All of them.
Not all of them.
Okay. So you've got projected units. How many have you sold?
I didn't keep track.
Okay. So you're on track to meet this, right? So you're selling. You've already done your math. You said you were going to sell them for 20. You're selling them for 20, so your expected ROI is there. But you've got to sell them all, right? So you should go back and figure out what you still have left in inventory, right? Because you still have potential profit on the table, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's feeling not so hot about their ROI? Who's feeling like they got...
From the stuff you purchased, from the items you bought in New York.
What's going on over here?
I just haven't. Nobody likes my phone cases.
Nobody likes your phone cases. What do you think's going? Have you asked why no one's buying them?
I should. I should do that. That makes sense to do.
Yeah. Tell me about what you learned. Liam learned a hard lesson, and
High pressure sales don't work.
What is it?
High pressure sales don't work.
Tell me what that means.
I did try. I tried to coax everybody that walked in the door to buy a case right away. I tried to do it casually, as casual as possible, as
Pushy?
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's a pushy thing.
It's a pushy thing.
Pushy thing.
And did anything happen in particular?
Somebody did buy a phone case, and for whatever reason, they returned it.
Whatever reason, they came back and returned it, right? And so
that's beyond me because I didn't handle the return.
Yeah, I handled the return, and Liam was across the room, and I just looked at him. I showed him his phone case. He looked at me like, "Why do you have that?" And I said, "High pressure sales don't work." So somebody returned it, right? And so it's actually funny in the end, in the business world, tell me why that's a real problem, right? It wasn't so much a problem here, but when you get a return, what's the deal with that?
That's just not good.
Well, it's not good, but there's also, it's not just not good in terms of you had the sale and didn't make the sale.
Your reputation.
So it could tarnish your reputation. But by the way, if somebody decides they don't like your thing and then they return it, fine. But is there work involved in that? When you go back to a store and you return something, what are they going to do?
Accept the return.
They're going to accept the return. That takes time. Then what are they going to do?
Give you money back?
They got to give you your money back. They got to process that. They already paid their credit card processing fee, so now they got to give you the money back. What else they got to do?
Put the item back.
They got to put the item back, and they really got to hope and pray that you didn't do anything to damage that item that they didn't notice, right? So there's a restocking fee. So sometimes it doesn't really behoove us. It's really not in our best interest to make a sale that somebody doesn't really want. But interestingly enough, this is happening. Who here buys stuff online? What's the policy nowadays online?
No refund?
You can usually send your stuff back full refund. There's shipping, send it out, shipping, send it back, restocking fees. So this is a thing right now in terms of the online sales world. So whoever's thinking about selling online, know that returns are a pretty costly thing. Not just in terms of you lost the sale, but in restocking, in shipping, in damage to the merchandise.
The e-center ordered 24
24
hats. got the wrong hats.
We ordered the wrong hat.
We ordered the wrong hats. So I went to the business office, I said, we gotta return these, we need these hats. The next day, the business office called me and said, Jody, if you return these, we're gonna have to pay $30 in shipping, and they're asking for a 20% restocking fee. So out of the $67 that the e-center spent, you're really gonna get $17.
What did we do with the hats? We
Kept
kept them. We'll find a use for them, right?
Why? Because they're not your favorite hat?
It wasn't what the customer ordered.
Right.
It wasn't what the customer ordered. So yeah, it was an actual custom order for somebody. They had requested, what is it, like they didn't want a snapback hat. We ordered snapback hats by accident. So again, attention to detail. Separate lesson from this one, but attention to detail in terms of ordering. There are all these little fees associated with this stuff. So now we didn't have a restocking fee. That person paid cash. It was all good. It's not the end of the world. But just keep that in mind as you're going out there and selling stuff online. The more truth in advertising, the better. The more you can talk about, if you're selling clothes online, Giselle, the more you can talk about the fit, the size, so that people really understand the more information you can give, the better, so that you can actually maximize the ability to actually make sure that that product stays with that person. Someone else talked to me about their ROI. Who's feeling good, who's feeling bad. So one takeaway is we've got 12 phone cases that aren't selling. Maybe we should
if
ask.
anybody wants one, there's 12 left.
Here comes the high pressure sale. Whoever wants a
I'm
case.
just throwing it out there.
Let me ask you this. How much were you selling them for?
Originally, 6 of them were $10 and 6 of them were $15, but then I decided that it didn't make any sense to sell the other ones for $15 because nobody was biting that. So I decided just to sell everything for $10.
And we're still struggling.
Yeah,
So
What kind of phone case is that for what phone?
an iPhone 6 or 7.
I got you later. I just want to see them though.
Okay, they're in the other room, I believe.
yeah. And so if you don't like them and you decide not to buy them, can you tell them why you've decided against them?
I so appreciate that.
Yeah. Who else is feeling good? Who else is feeling skeptical?
Did
And
anyone sell all their stuff that they bought? Sean did? Yeah, you didn't buy anything.
If I go back, I would have brought all hats and gloves.
tell me more about this.
So out of everything that I got, nothing really sold besides the hats and the gloves. And Nancy brought all of them. Like Nancy was the reason that I met the 50%. I got to the it's not to the gray, it's to the you got to the
You bought $50 worth of stuff and you got to 50. Yeah,
so
you're even.
I'm even, and she she bought all my gloves and hats that I had on Friday, and she wanted to buy more, and she already brought them.
Now talk to me about. So what were your prices?
I had a package of a hat and a glove for $8.
And did you give Nancy a deal or did you give her at 8?
I gave her at $8.
Okay. Yeah, I think she had sent an email saying she would buy the rest at $6. So the question would be, what happens if you're charging 8, you're expecting 8, and now you start selling them for 6? What happens to your calculations? What happens to your expectations?
It gets thrown off.
It gets thrown off. And the question would be, before you sell those for $6 a piece, what do you got to ask yourself?
Am I still gonna make a return on the investment?
Am I still going to make a return on my investment, right? We're going to talk about economics of one unit a lot in the new year. In 2018, it's the year of the economics of one unit. You'll understand a little bit more about what that means. But I want you to write this down now. If I ask you what your economics of one unit are, I'm asking one really particular question. Are you making or losing money for every unit that you sell? Are you making or losing money for every unit that you sell? And you did that here for your ROI. That was part of the equation. You asked yourself, am I making or losing money? If you have a positive ROI, are you making or losing money for every unit that you sell?
Making.
You're making money, right? If you have a positive ROI, that means you are making money for every unit that you sell.
You said that was the unit of economics of unit.
Economics of one unit,
All right.
EOU. It's really a formula But at the heart of that formula, what we're asking you, when we say, what's your EOU, what I really mean is, are you making or losing money for every unit that you sell? Because we talked about last class, the difference between sales and what?
Revenue. No.
Well, sales and revenue,
Same thing.
same thing. And we talked about sales and what else?
Profit.
Profit. You could be bringing in a lot of money, a lot of sales, a lot of revenue. You could be selling all these things, but if you're losing money on every unit that you sell, you've got a negative ROI. Do people do that in business? Is there anybody out there that would ever do that?
Not intentionally, I'm assuming.
Not intentionally?
Well, unless there was a big scheme,
A big scheme? What kind of a scheme?
like an Amazon scheme, like where you're not making any money,
Yep.
you're doing well.
Yeah, so here's the question. Just because Amazon's losing money, or was losing money for a long period of time, were they losing money on the items that they sold, or were they losing money because of what? Were they losing money on
What were they
the...
doing with their money that we talked about?
Investing it.
Yep, what were you going to say? Same thing? They were reinvesting it. So my guess is they were making money on every unit that they sold. They were just taking those profits and then reinvesting it back into the business. So they were making money on the units that they sold, but there are other costs that can come later. There's something called loss leaders. Walmart's big on this. Walmart sells products at a loss, knowingly, right? You would say not knowingly you wouldn't do that. Most people that sell something at a loss are probably haven't done their economics in one unit. They don't have a full, true understanding of their cost. But there are some companies that sell products at a loss. Why? Why would you sell anything at a loss?
To like draw attention and then sell something else.
To draw attention, to draw you in,
Yeah.
right? A loss leader. I'm going to sell you Coca-Cola, Lay's potato chips, something that I think a lot of people are going to want to buy. I'm going to lose money on every single bag that I sell. And I'm going to sell Lay's potato chips and Coca-Cola right around the Super Bowl, and I'm going to lose money on all of them because I know you're going to have that at your Super Bowl party. But what else do people buy around the Super Bowl? Big item, big ticket item. It's the time of the year that this sells the most. Right around January, February. These, you have the highest sales of what? Super Bowl's coming on. Cheese trays. Maybe cheese. Nope, we're not even talking food. We're talking big item.
TVs.
Televisions. If I can sell you Lay's potato chips and Coca-Cola at a loss, and you can come in and buy a new Samsung TV that you just have to watch the big game on, that you just happen to walk by, who here ever goes into a store wanting to spend $5 and leaves spending $85 and you don't know what happened, right? You might have got loss leadered, all right? You might have had a loss leader situation, all right? So, as a follow-up on the ROI, you all know what you bought your individual items for. We figured it out. If you are selling your items for more than what you paid, you will have a positive ROI. If you are selling them at what you paid, essentially what you're saying is, I just need to recoup my investment. So as Liam's starting to drop his prices, he might think of two things. He could drop his prices, or he could do what?
Sell them in bundles.
He could sell them in bundles. What else? Before he drops his prices, and before anybody drops their prices, what can you do to try to make sales? And you've probably already tried to do it, but what helps make sales?
Your packaging.
So maybe you could increase your packaging. Maybe you could put bundles together, a price promotion. What else? These are examples of what?
Like sale, buy one, get one, something like that.
So this is a promotion. What else? Right? These are examples of...
Advertising.
What's that?
Advertising.
Say it loud.
Advertising.
Advertising, marketing, right? You can market, before you drop your prices, make sure you've done everything you can to advertise and market and make sure that people know what you're selling. And as you're doing that, as you're getting no, ask why. Try to understand why. I'm trying to think of an example of a product that, what were we talking about the other day? A product that came out with a very particular use, and they realized that people were using it for something entirely different, and then they started to advertise it and market for this. They had one idea of what their product was going to be.
There was like Q-tips, right? We was talking about like when you're so good at something, you become it.
Well, so we were talking about that a little bit, but we were also talking about like these inadvertent where people started using their products for something different. The example is escaping my mind. But the point is, you can inadvertently find out a different use. Now, I don't think you're going to find a different use for your phone case.
Probably not.
Probably not. It's probably going to protect your Febreze. Yeah. What was it? What was it?
The traction method with Febreze, but
Yeah, but what were they? What did Febreze originally come out for? I forget.
Air freshener.
It was an air freshener, and then it moved itself over to this. Hey, you don't have to do laundry anymore. Just spray your clothes. That's not true. You really do have to do laundry.
Yeah, you do.
But you can extend your laundry doing it just by a little bit. All right. That's enough on ROI because I invited a special guest. The adults are going to leave the room. We're going to hand it over to the young people. But here's what I want to say. I invited Yoel. He's in the back. He's a former E360 student. And I asked him to come in and talk to you because as we start to go towards the new year, what do people do during the new year?
New Year's resolution.
New Year resolutions, right? A lot of people have goals and New Year's resolutions. I'm going to tell one little baby story about Yoel, and then we're going to leave the room. I'm going to hand it over. Yoel sets goals, as I understand it. Yoel was an E360 student. Jody and I, Nick and I, we all know Yoel pretty well. Yoel sets big goals, and as I know, has usually attained those big goals, but there's probably some that he still has yet to do. But I was on the phone with Yoel a little while ago, and he always told me that he wanted to study abroad. He always wanted to study abroad. That was his thing. I'm going to study abroad. I'm going to study abroad. But he also has this cool scholarship. I won't tell you about it. He might tell you about it. That made him so he had to be on campus and actually working for the scholarship and doing stuff for the scholarship. So traveling abroad was hard. And I remember saying on the phone to Yoel, you know, we were talking. I said, "How's the search going? He was advocating to like the administration to travel abroad." And I was trying to be nice and I said, you know, Yoel, don't worry about it. I think the pieces will fall in place. The pieces will fall in place. You'll get to go where you need to go. And on the other end of the phone, he said, or I can put the pieces where I need to put the pieces. I said, yeah, that's probably a better rationale, right? So in terms of putting pieces where they need to go, as we start to think about 2018, your business plan, the goals that you're setting for yourself, I wanted to invite Yoel just to talk a little bit about his experience in E360, some of the successes, some of the failures, some of the things that were rather challenging for Yoel. Hint, hint, the pitch was not the thing that he loved to do the most. But I want to structure this very much like our last one, which is you can talk for however long you want to talk, but more around questions, E360 experience, things you should know, things you could be doing, and the goals you might want to be setting for 2018 as class really starts to ramp up. When we get back from break, things are going to get real quick. The business plan comes out. So, with that little baby introduction, I'm going to kick it over to Yoel. Yoel, feel free to tell him your story, tell him what you got, and then
ask questions.
and
That's
ask
why we're
questions.
leaving the room. Like, ask whatever you feel you need to ask.
Right.
Because he's lived through it. He knows us. He knows the class. He knows the E-Center. He knows the Met. Like, pretty open dialogue
Yeah.
at this point. And a great story. He'll tell you what it was like, what happened, what he's like now.
All right, people. We're handing the asylum over to the what's the phrase? Inmates, yeah.
Or no, that would be the yeah.
Peace of the journey, cool. Just somebody knock on the door when you guys are done here.
Yep.
All right.
So hi guys, my name is Yoel. I am a junior in college now. I did the program 5 years ago now. And when I first started, I didn't have a business idea. I was a very shy freshman, very bad public speaker. I didn't really get my hand on like the education thing. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life yet. I wanted to do architecture, but I interned with an architect, and I remember he told me that architects were really bad with numbers, and they always ended up being broke or very rich. So I wanted to like negotiate that and make sure that I ended up on the rich side, or I tried to. So I decided to do E360 my sophomore year of high school. I got in, and I remember I met Jody I was a Justice kid. If any of those Justice people, if there's any. And when I was there, I met Jody, and Jody's a very good talker, and she convinced me to join this program. Came here, and it was a very rough start. I didn't really get my head around the whole business idea, and I feel like business is very aggressive. You have to learn a lot. You have to remember a lot of numbers. You have to remember a lot of the dialogue, like ROIs and what really is happening behind the scenes. Because I feel like you see commercials, you see advertisements, you just see like the finished product. You really don't get the idea of how they got there. So really learning all those steps really allowed me to really come up with something that was gonna thrive. So when I competed in the business plan competition, I did a promotional print shop. The print shop that's over here it existed before I came, but I just happened to do like a takeover, like a friendly takeover. And then so I pitched the print shop at the business plan competition. I got $3,000 something for paper because they already had the equipment, so that's what I seen as like the opportunity. I speak Spanish. I can speak English. I pitched to the Hispanic community right around the streets here. I was able to get a couple units. All I needed to move is like 3 or 4 units to break even. And we had this product. It was called perforated print. I don't know, it's somewhere. It's on those back doors, I think. It's like when you can see, and then there's an image on the other. That stuff was very expensive at the beginning. So if I sold one of those units, I broke even. And then I was able to pitch it to a couple of businesses. I got like 3 or 4 orders, and then that's how my business got started. By the end of my business career, I netted $10,000 for college. My business experience was very shaky at the beginning. When it came to the class, I was a very bad pitcher. Like in regards to learning my 30-second pitch, it was just rough because you had to remember it. Like I had this idea that I had to remember word by word, and it had to be exactly the same every time. But it should be something that's really more organic. You just have to make sure that you talk about certain things within 30 seconds. So like what you're selling, how you're selling it, like this is who I am, like are you interested? That's basically it. So as I got like a little bit older, I was able to really devise that and really create a plan that was best suited for me. When it came to school, I did struggle in maintaining both school and business. I feel like sometimes my business took over my school. When I was here at 8 o'clock and the janitors would kick me out. And then I was really not sure what I was going to do with that. But then I had Brandon and Jody really help me guide. They guided me to a certain area where I was a little bit more balanced. So what are you guys, like where are you guys with your business? Do you guys have ideas? What are your concepts at?
Well, like some of us have, some of us, we're like very mixed, so some of us have already, and then some of us are still thinking of ideas, and some of us, and I don't know, I don't know if anybody's totally unsure, but I wouldn't say anymore, but we could say we got general concepts, right, of what we want to do.
Like what are your guys' concepts? Go just around like real quick, like 2 or 3 words, just so I can get an idea.
Mine, that is mine. I don't know why I thought that. Basic automotive knowledge for new teen drivers. They come in, take a lesson on how to change their oil, and the next thing they know, come out knowing how to change their oil.
A clothing line to represent underrepresented groups.
And I want to sell authentic Guatemalan and Ecuadorian food.
I'm doing like dress up clothes, like a clothing line.
Clothes and design.
Grooming daycare.
Natural beauty products.
I want to sell origami.
I want to make a clothing line.
Custom keychains. Jewelry business.
Like detail, photo detailing.
Clothes.
Clothing line.
I would say a lot of apparel. So what differentiates you guys from like each other's business lines? I understand like Do you want to do high end? Like
Yeah, I want to do
dress-
like suits and ties and stuff.
Do you have any pre-existing knowledge? Like,
Yeah, I dress up in suits a lot, and I wanted to make this this sweat resistant shirt for people who dress up in suits, so they don't sweat during the show with perspiration.
I feel like when I first started like the business plan competition, like the question that they're always gonna ask you is like, what differentiates you guys from one another? Especially when you have 4 minutes to go up there and you have to pitch this, you have to make sure that they remember yours and not the others. As competitive as that sounds, you have to make sure that your point is driven across very clearly. So just start thinking about like what's gonna make you different from the person next to you that's gonna do clothing as well, and really what's gonna get you out there, how you promote it, how you talk about it. I remember I had one of my friends, right there, Louis, he did QR codes on his shirt. So like he would get a design from, he would take inspiration for a certain culture, and then he would write his little like bio on the culture, whatever he was writing on, and then he would put it on a QR sleeve, and then you could scan the shirt with your phone, and then you can get like the whole story on like the shirt. So that was one of the ideas he had. And he had David that did the backpacks with the stamps, like custom stamps. I remember those sold a lot because the school bought a whole bunch of them for graduation. Just try like, they want to see like handmade, different, what's your innovation? You're at the center of innovation. It's that concept.
So you was doing the French shop all 4 years there?
So I did it for 3 years. And then we expanded, we got new equipment, and then we moved. We were in the Black Box before, but we needed more space, so then we moved here. And then, yeah, we did it for 3 years. And then I did it, so like if you go to the business plan competition and you're not the most successful, doesn't mean that you end there. Because I feel like it's all about like your determination, like if you really want to make the most out of it. Because I would say I was not the most successful when I went to the business plan competition, but I just stick around. If you do have a goal in mind and things don't go as planned right off the bat, doesn't mean like just like give up on your idea. I feel like you can always like find a different means of getting around. I remember when I went to the business plan competition, I got an order from, you know, Alex Anani?
Mm-hmm.
So the previous CEO was there, Giovanni Ferrocci. I remember so I have this product, and when I get very nervous, I like sweat a lot. And I held the product in my hand so tight that I smudged the ink off one part of it. And I gave this product to all the people, and everyone touched it, and he touched the spot where I had my hand like gripped. And he got like ink in his hand. He made like the biggest deal. He was like, "Can I please get a towel?" And it was just like the most embarrassing thing because you're like, my product is not faulty, it's me. Literally, it's me. So like, being in that circumstance, I'm like, oh, this is horrible. Like, it's over. Like, I'm gonna get eliminated. But then he ended up being like the one client that he's like, oh, I want you to do one of my stores, just because I don't know, the way you pitched it, but the way you promoted the product, and like that the material didn't really hold up to what I was saying. But I was able to convince him enough to get him to buy it already. So what are you guys concerned with like the class thus far? Like, is it hard? Is it easy? You guys getting it?
Do you feel like, do you remember like this being like what they're making it up to be? Like after you come back, like it's getting real fast. Like,
No, it goes fast. It's like you're gonna start getting, it gets very real very fast.
you get like more to like entrepreneurial terminology, like ROIs and all like EOUs and stuff.
You just become more comfortable with the terminologies, but I feel like now you're like in a very like, you're being taught to, whereas now your experience is gonna be more of a dynamic experience because you're gonna be like teaching yourself as well and having help from the teachers. Just like guiding you is now like you're being fed anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's more of like that type of relationship. Anyone else who's the only one to talk right now? I see people take notes. Anything to say? You guys are gotta be shy. I'm a student as well, so.
How'd you come up with your name? Because I don't have a business.
So my name is my initials actually. As cocky as it sounded, because they thought it was cocky at first when I put my name. And they're supposed to, so my name, so the Alloy logo, the one with the watercolor with the afro. So I'm a painter, so I do painting and I study architecture. And then, so I like to like do paintings, watercolors. So I took one of my watercolors and I put my initials. And when you write your initials, it's supposed to be like your first initial dot, your last initial dot. But I wanted people to pay attention to my last name because the painting is like very like powerful, like I feel like consumes the logo name. So I just put one dot in the middle so that people like would nitpick it. They'd be like, oh. And Brandon and Jody gave me a whole bunch of crap. Like, oh, people, this is wrong, this isn't grammar. I was just, it's gonna be like that. That was my logo. But I know people that made names up, but stories is not a word. It's our stories, and then he like slanged it and made us stories. And people just take inspiration for different things. But it doesn't have to be like one specific, like, you don't have to stay in a specific lane.
How hard have you seen like Jordan and Brandon become getting you to try to try to retract or maybe rethink something about your business?
They'll push it hard. I feel like that's the whole like fun of the process. Like, as I remember right, they play like good cop, bad cop, where they push it, but they push it to like your breaking point.
Who's the bad cop?
No, it switches because if it was always one, like you would never like no. Yeah. But then you also have next. You have like this third denominator that's like introduced to the equation, so you have like to shuffle around. But sometimes they're gonna want you to change something, and you gotta understand they have a lot of experience. They've done this for many years, so they're probably gonna have the intuition.
Yeah.
And should respect the knowledge, but you should also hold your own in regards to certain decisions, like certain artistic decisions. Like, for example, I wouldn't change the name. Or like, I remember my pitch, it was this part, and Nick hated it so much. I remember he was like, well, you have to change this, you have to change this. And I wouldn't change it for anything, and then this lady came. And then I changed it for the lady. And then Nick was so upset that I changed it for her, but not for him. But like, it depends, like you start to meet different people and like you start to see their response. It wasn't that I didn't trust Nick's decision, I just wanted to test it out and see like, if it was only him or if I did it with someone else, like they would pick up on the same things. So you could like, you should go out, like get people involved, tell them what you're doing and see like what their response is. Because I feel like you do something a certain way, you expect certain results, but then in reality something else happens to it. So you have to make sure that what you're saying really conveys the message that you're trying to get across.
Where's your coat from?
I believe it's Tommy Hilfiger.
Okay. I had to ask. I'm sorry.
You still do the print?
So no, I do not do the print shop, but I do get clients. I just refer them to what? Yes, it is. But no, I remember I don't do the print shop anymore. I still did graphic design like here or there, but with school it just got very like overwhelming.
I don't know if they said it or misread it. What are you in college for now?
I study architecture. So when I was in school, I had a mission that I was going to go to school for free. And I was like, it was like, everyone was getting acceptance letters. I remember I got my acceptance letter. Originally I was going to go to Los Angeles. I got into SciArc, but the tuition was only like 50% and not like 100%. So I was like, I was a little bit iffy. And then I got into Roger Williams and then I got like a 25% scholarship, which I was very, not happy with. So then I found out that there was like the scholarship they were offering. Do you guys know what the Gates Millennium Scholarship is? Bill Gates gives 1,000 scholarships, and if you get it, you get like all of your schooling up to grad school, like free, like he pays for everything. So I was applying for that scholarship, and I had like 1,000 hours of community service hours. I wrote all my 8 essays, and my transcript met the requirement, and I was applying for that scholarship. And then I found out about the scholarship Roger Williams was offering, and I remember I took my essays from the scholarship, from the Game Millennium, and I edited a bit. I was just like, oh, this is my backup plan because I'm totally gonna get, I'm a cocky, not that I'm a cocky person, but I believe in myself, that I like, if I put my mind to something and I feel like if I try my hardest, I can like achieve what I want. So I went in and then I took my essay from the Gates Millennium Scholarship, I edited it and tailored it to what they needed to be, and then I sent it in. And I was like, yeah, I'm really interested in that, but I'll send it because I'm totally gonna get the Gates Millennium. So I didn't get the Gates Millennium. I was like, out the first round, it was just like, no one that year made it to the second round. It's like a 3-round process. So you submit all your 1,000 hours of stuff. Like you spent like 3 months filling out all these essays, all these forms, and it was just, I didn't get it. I sent my papers to Roger Williams, and I remember I worked at a Navy when I was in high school. I remember I had a shift to go to work right after school, and then I got a letter from Roger Williams. I got an email from them saying, I was like, oh, congratulations, you got like a full like academic right to Roger Williams. And I remember I called down my manager, I was like, oh, I'm sick, I have to go somewhere. Like, something came up, I remember I was like very happy that like I met that goal. But I did bother them a lot. I called like their admissions office a lot. My papers got lost at one point. I called like the head of every department. I was like, listen, you gotta understand, like it was not my fault. Like, you guys totally dropped the ball. You can't do this to me. Da-da-da. So I ended up getting it. But it wasn't just because it was just like, here you are, like you've gone the ride. And if you guys, you know, applying to schools, apply to Wright Williams. I don't work for their admissions office. I'm just saying, like, apply for them. There's like good scholarships, like for a minority, take advantage of it. They have it's called the ILA, it's Leadership Ambassador Program, and basically free tuition, full tuition, and yeah, why not? They have architecture, engineering, business, visual arts, a whole other spree of things that I probably don't know. I never worked for the department. But I did that, and when I was in school, I came in freshman year, and I always wanted to go to Dubai. Have you guys heard of the Burj Khalifa? It's like the tallest building in the world. For now, because Tokyo is planning on building the next one. So I always wanted to go to Dubai, and it was like my goal, and everyone's like, yeah, like little kid, come on, like you're gonna go to Dubai, all right, like sit down. I got to my senior year. It was halfway through senior year, and I still hadn't raised the money to go to Dubai. I remember I was speaking to Brandon, and I was like, I don't know if Dubai's gonna happen. I should go to like Spain or something. It's gonna be cheaper. And then Brandon was like, nah, like we have to do this. And I remember I've collected business cards from every like business person I've met, and like I sent like a little thank you email, like, oh, it was a pleasure meeting you, and like, and I always kept their business card in a little box. So then at the end, I remember it was like December. I was like, okay, over this break, I'm gonna send all these people an email, like a massive email. I wrote up basically a one-page flyer saying what I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to go to Dubai. I was gonna teach business courses to underserved youth. I was gonna go do this, gonna do that. A lot of people have this conception that like Dubai is like rolling in dough or filthy rich. There are a lot of people with a lot of money there, but there's only 20% of the demographic because Dubai is composed of 80% immigrants from India, Asia, and all over the place that come work there, and they really live in like very bad conditions. So I was gonna go help teach those people, and then I pitched that, and I raised the money to go in a matter of months, and I ended up going to Dubai for 9 days, 10 days, taught the classes, traveled around, visited the architecture, went to Abu Dhabi, visited one of those. It's a very famous mosque. It's called the Sheikh Zayed. If you guys want to like Google it after, it's like white. It's made out of marble and it glows like it's blinding. You can't really open your eyes inside. So we did that, and yeah, that was like one of my goals. Like senior year was my top year. I remember I started off with, you guys know what the Big Bang is? Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it.
It happened in the summer. There's Big Picture. Big Picture Learning hosts this conference once a year around the United States, and then they bring everyone from all the Big Picture schools, because there's like, I don't know the exact number, but I know that there's like a ton of them from like Australia, Europe. I know there's some in Amsterdam, there's some in the Netherlands, there's all over the parts. And then everyone comes in, they have this conference, and I went with Jody the first year. And then I met the lady who runs the conference, and then I remember I helped her set books on the table when the rest of the guys were playing at the pool. So then I got to meet her, and then she hired me to go back ever since. I've been going for 4 years, 5 years now. So we've been to, my first one was Vegas. I went to, where is the swamp? New Orleans. I went to Orlando. I went to, what is it?
You're St. Louis?
Yes, I went to St. Louis. And one of those two, I forget. But like it was an experience that was only meant to be once. Like I was only meant to go there once to be a student speaker, and you know, it was it. Like you know, you gotta like hustle your way like to where you want to get. Like people can tell you things are only gonna happen once, or like this opportunity is only for now, but you can make the most out of it and really get the most out of that experience. And then I remember senior year, I got to go to that. Then I was sponsored by an architect in Los Angeles, and I went to visit her for 2 weeks, and we traveled all throughout California. We started off in San Francisco, and we ended up in Los Angeles. And I went to Dubai. A week after Dubai, I went to Trinidad and Tobago, where I taught business courses to youth in Trinidad. And then a day after graduation, I went to the Dominican Republic, but that was just like a fun trip. But like I'm saying, like you can really make the most out of it. Like the education is tailored. You tailor your own education. Like if you really want to get the most out of it, it's totally up to you. As adult as I sound by saying that, but it really is up to you. Any other questions? Everyone hasn't spoken. Anyone that's yawning? I'm sorry, I talk a lot.
Yeah, I need like final.
No, go.
I really ask just like some final
Words of wisdom to impart.
Not yet, just like for us to know what to expect going forward.
Yeah, and any recommendations.
Yeah.
I would say like have a plan and make sure you try to stick to that plan. I'm not saying you have to be always on top of the plan, but have like a loose layout to know where you want to be at a certain time. It's always better to be ahead of the game because things are not always going to go as planned. You're going to stumble somewhere, even if you think you're like a high roller that's never going to, you're going to make it straight to the end. It may seem like you're going straight to the end, and then like right at the very end you like stumble. Like just make sure like that you have like different means of getting yourself up. Try harder than others. Like go for it. Like, it's your opportunity. Don't compare yourself to like the person next to you. Like, oh, they're only doing this, I'm gonna do this. Like, if you really want to go for it, just like do you, and make the most of your experience and commit to what it is that you're gonna do. And take advice. Don't be too hard-headed, because I was very hard-headed, and like at the end of the day, it does like affect you. Like be able to like take in people's wisdom and what they have to say, but also make sure you hold your own. Anything else? Anyone?
When did you graduate?
One day? Huh? 2015.
Did you know Luis Tavares?
I feel like I did. Is he the tall one?
He's like a little bit taller than like 5-something, 5'7"-ish.
I feel like I did. But I'm very bad with names, I'm sorry. I suck, like I'm very, very bad.
Hi. Thank you.
So, I feel the name does something like
I feel like you know my sister,
who's your sister?
Kimberly. They called her Nico.
I'm not sure. I'm hard with names, sorry. Like, I really am. Like, no. My professors, I always call them by Miss or Mister. And they hate that stuff. Sorry, I have 7 professors to remember their names. Anything else, guys?
Oh, how do you spell your name?
Y-O-E-L.
Okay. Just making sure.
What do you think for you, like, was the initial, like, change? Because you said you were terrible at, like, public speaking, correct?
Yeah, so I had my first exhibition, and it was, like, the worst exhibition I've probably been to. And it was my own. So, like, being there, I stuttered a lot, and then, like, the vocabulary wasn't at a point where I could, like, communicate things I wanted to communicate. So I really got in my mind about that. So I started, like, reading a dictionary. I'll, like, read 1 or 2 words a day, and then by the end of the year, like, I feel like my vocabulary was at a different stage. I did, I worked for, where does Jasmina work? You guys know Jasmina?
Yeah, just
Recruitment.
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did recruitment, and then I went to like schools, and I forced myself to go speak to like all these middle schoolers. I was like, I can mess up in front of them. It doesn't matter. It does matter to a certain degree. Like I have to make sure that I communicate what it is that the school wants me to like inform them of. But at the same time, I got like more experience being in front of people. I wasn't as tense. I wasn't as like uptight. So I did that. I volunteered at different organizations. I just really put a lot of time into like bettering my public standing, and then I did that for a while. And I feel like that's what helped me get better. And then the business plan competition just standing up in front of people, like, hi, my name is Joel.
Do you think for if you didn't do what you did, you know, going to the middle schools, was this before or after you did the business plan?
Oh, this was before. I started halfway through freshman year. I started like doing recruitment and all that, and then I did E360 the year after.
So do you think if you didn't do all that stuff you did for recruitment and going out to all those places and speaking, when it came time to do the business competition, do you think you would have been as prepared?
I feel like there's not one way to do things. So I feel like it all totally depends on the person. For me personally, I feel like I needed the experience. I'm a very hands-on one. Like I need to like go through things to put myself in a situation to really acquire the knowledge and acquire a sense of how it is to be in that time moment. So for me it worked, but I'm not saying like for others, you could just totally, I don't know, sit in front of your friends and family and talk about your business. And as like uncomfortable as it may seem, because your mom's like, oh, this is just an assignment. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna make clothing. I see, yeah. Like they're gonna always like, you know, give you like, treat you like a kid almost in a sense.
Yeah.
Like this is just like an ideology in your head. Like this is never gonna become a reality. You're never gonna see this out. So I feel like you gotta show them that you're willing to like put in the work to really get to the final step. I'll get you there.
Do you have a business now?
I do not have a business now. I am a full-time student, and it was hard to like at first in freshman year I dabbled with the print shop. So I was doing both. Like I would come help. I taught Steven like the equipment. I would get orders. I would like design them and I would send them here. But it just got too much when the classes started like ramping up.
Did you ever say like, did you ever like look into hiring somebody to attend to all your like contract and stuff like you do, Steven, but more like you kind of like apprenticing them, but also like establish your business?
So yes and no. So the one thing with the business, with the print shop is that the machine is not mine. The machines aren't mine. The machines are the schools. So that was like, that's where like I put myself in, because I knew that I benefited from the machine not being mine. They're under school contracts, and so I was able to really get around the fact of buying all this machinery. Like if I'm starting a business from scratch, it would have been very hard. But they already had the stuff, so so that was kind of the deal with my business. Like it only had like certain lifespan, so I had to make sure that my lifespan was very like thriving for that time. But I don't know. I couldn't do it with school. Like my primary focus shift.
Oh yeah.
I had to make sure that my GPA stayed above the required, so the thing with the scholarship is I do have a full ride, but I do have to meet like certain requirements. I have to stay above a certain grade point average. All the teachers know you, like they all talk to one another. And there's like a little list that goes around of all the people that have like, there's like 5 of us that have a full ride for each year. So then they just all know, and they all talk. If you're 5 minutes late, each teacher talks, and then, so yeah, I had to like make sure I was on top of that.
Do you think, say, you know, you got done with school and being a full-time student, would you start up another business to do something maybe with printing? Would you go back to it, or would you do something different?
So I'm not sure if I would go back into the printing business, but I would do another business. Cause right now I'm like in a very like interesting position with my career. So I love architecture and I love what the career entails of, but at the end of the day I only did architecture because I'm like an artist. I love art. And I feel like architecture was like the highest form of art, and like it's a living.
Yeah.
I consider it to be like living art. You like interact with this building. It creates emotions. It separates space. Like it interacts with in 3 dimensions. Like that's why I did architecture. But now that I'm like finishing the career, it's like dumbed down now. It's like I build a box for you because you want me to like, you need a room. It's no longer an art, so I'm at this like crossroads. And I was just in Barcelona 4 days ago, and where I had like this conversation. I finished the semester and I had this conversation with my professor, and I was just like, I'm not sure if I will do architecture for the rest of my life, but because it's no longer what it was for me at the beginning. But doesn't mean you can always like change your career. You can always be that innovator that makes it, like, brings it back to that raw art form. But as of now, I'm not sure what I'm doing with my final steps. But I'll probably have a business at the end of the day. I do real estate. I like real estate. I like business. I like how business is very aggressive, I would say. Like, people are like very hard hitting. Depends on the type of business you're doing. But at the end of the day, you gotta sell your units. You gotta move. So when he was saying that, like, sometimes it's like when you go, he was trying to sell his units very directly. That worked for me. I was very precise when I would target someone. I'm just like, okay, I gotta go sell that person a unit. You have to tailor how you speak, how you talk, how you interact with them. Some people are very professional, like they want you to be like, hi sir, some people are just a little bit more, their body language is a little bit different. You have to be able to pick up on all those things. You have to be able to communicate, pick up on what they're giving you, like what they're not saying to you, to be able to sell them what it is that you have or offer.
As a student, were you somebody who wanted to go to college out of state or wanted to stay in state?
So I wanted to go out of state.
So why? Oh my god.
So I wanted to go to like Los Angeles. I was going far from my parents. I was like, I'm going to like Zimbabwe, all the way on the other side of town. So I visited Los Angeles. I love Los Angeles. It's like the hippie vibe. I totally love that. Like, there's beaches. I was just like, the architecture is cool. They have a very competitive market. I was like, if I wanted to get into real estate, they offer that as well. But then I only got a 50% ride. I was like, oh, I'm not
trying to live that life.
I'm not trying to pay the $30,000 now. So then that was like my dilemma. But I said to myself, if I didn't get a full ride, I wasn't going to go to school. So like I kind of forced myself to be like, I wanted that full ride. And
you wanted it badly enough that you...
Yeah, I would not go to school if I didn't get that full ride. Not like school. I would have probably gone like CCRI or something. But I put it in my mindset that I was going to get it. Like there was no other option for me. Like if I didn't get it.
So in other ways, you kind of got your hopes up.
No, I feel like if you have the skill and you believe in yourself, you could go for it. And, like, you could get like, because I've been told like I wasn't gonna go to certain places or I wasn't gonna be able to do certain things that's a little bit like too far fetched. And I was just like, okay, like for you maybe go like I feel like you have to have some confidence in yourself. Like you have to like be able to stand up for yourself because not everyone is gonna like believe in you like the way you believe in yourself. So it's up to you. If you think that you can do it, go for it. But you shouldn't like know yourself well enough to know if you really could do it or you're just like amping yourself up for nothing. Because I feel like people do it like, yeah, I'm gonna become a millionaire next week. I'm like,
bruh.
Oh, like, fam, I want to be on your level. Please, like, help me.
Yeah, but there's always like a lot of people who will try to put you down or like make it seem like you can't do it just because they never want you to be doing better than they're doing. So like at the end of the day, it's really about like whether you want it or not and if you want to work for it.
People always gonna like objectify if you can't show them nothing. That's what I learned now. If you can't show nobody success and you're teaching that you know how to get success, you gotta be able to show somebody something. You can't just be the person that got no money in their pocket saying, yo, this is how you can make $1 million. You gotta be the person with at least $500K before you tell somebody that's broke how to make $1 million. You know what I mean? So.
Not even. You better have like more than $1 million if you're gonna tell me how to make $1 million. I'm looking at you like, why don't you have the million, sir?
One,
like,
is enough.
No, success comes in all different shapes. Like, it doesn't mean, like, if you're a millionaire, you're successful. Like, you may be happy with yourself.
no, I'm not equating monetary affluence with success. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, you know, like, I would expect you to have $1 million if you're trying
for
to
pitching it.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
What does success look for you? Like, how's it look?
So success changes for me. At first, it was just like, I want to be rich. Like, I want to have this economical standing. I want to be this well off. I want to have this type of car. I want my square footage of my house has to be this much. Like, I wouldn't say materialistic because that was just what I idealized. That's what I wanted, and that's what I was going for. But I feel like as of like being a student and like traveling more and experiencing the world, I still want to have a very prosperous economical standing, but I also want to like, you know, find happiness or love what I'm doing because at the end of the day, I don't want to like sit at a cubicle and do something that I hate every day, like go home and like, you know, just live a sad life. I want to travel. I like living life on edge, just taking risks.
How old are you?
I'm 20. It took me a while to remember. I always forget my own age. So yeah, I'm 20. I'm still young. Youngish.
Young-ish?
Yeah, because
Junior in college.
you kind of feel old when you come back and you're like talking to like high schoolers. I'm like, hi guys. How many years did I graduate? I'm like, oh, I did the program 5 years ago now. It's not like my parents and I'm like, I did this, you know, just make sure you like, do something similar. Like, be careful. It's a dangerous world out here.
Oh my god.
Anything else? From those that haven't heard nothing from? Anything, guys? Comment, concerns, remarks?
I'm gonna go check out Tommy Hilfiger because you know that coat you're serving.
You know, it's
You are
2016 collection, I think.
serving. You are serving. Okay.
That's it.
Anything else?
Any other comments on this fashion?
Anything
Okay, I
else?
also really like the scarf. You know, you
Alright,
it's a look.
there you go. Then
It's
you got
a
it.
look.
Where's
No,
the
it's
scarf?
a competition in Zara, but it was buying. I forgot what country I bought it in, but it's Zara. Yeah.
It's a look.
The European vibe.
Yes.
Anything else, guys? Except
Where'd you get
outside
the
of my
watch?
clothing? It's Movado.
Are you interested in giving back to the community?
Yes, but I feel like my community changes, and so you have to make sure, like, keep in mind who it is that you're serving. But I feel like I would always contribute back to my educational community. I always come back to them. I always, in the sense of talking back to kids or helping out in any way I can. Like if people go to Roger Williams, I give them tours, or like I point them in the right direction. I'm like, oh, go talk to that guy. Like that guy's the one that's gonna give you a scholarship. Like go to him. Like don't go to me. So like I'll help. I feel like I would help my community in that sense. Economically, not yet, but hopefully yes. Doc is a Dennis. Like we always talk about getting a building on campus with my name. That's just the hope that I have. But we play around with things like that, and in the long run, I would hope to contribute more. Anything else?
Are there any other communities that you would like to give back to other than like the Met community?
Yeah, I'm from the Dominican Republic, so I would always contribute back to that community and helping the country come out of its shambles. But it's a big country, so. But I would always think of giving back and finding some way of contributing and helping those there that most need. But I feel like as a citizen of the world, there's a lot of places where you can contribute to. Like, yes, I identify with the Dominican Republic. Yes, I identify with like the Met community. But I feel like once you travel, once you get to see a lot of these other, you get to meet like a lot of these people with like different needs, and you start to see like a lot of the homeless people in like different countries. You can contribute in other in many ways. Like you can just talk to someone and you're like kind of helping them. Not economically. I'm not saying like you're just gonna go talk to people like, oh, I gave back to all of them. I don't need to do anything else. But there's always different means. It doesn't mean like you have to give them money, that you have to do this for them. There's always a way to contribute back to all different types of community, even though that I don't have a direct correlation with. Like I was in Amsterdam and they have like a very like high homeless population, and it's like freezing cold. So like give them a scarf, give them a jacket, buy them coffee. Like there's always different. You can talk to them, treat them like they're people. Like some people aren't treated like they're people. Like they're on the streets, like people ignore them. Like try to talk to them, just like like you shut them down. So find the means and how you feel that you can give back.
Are you still like in contact with your advisory mates?
My advisor mates from like high school.
The way he answers that.
No, because like different advisors. Like I had advisors from like everywhere. Like you have business advisors. So yes and no. I talked to like 3 of them.
We did get that 10-year reunion.
Yeah, 10 years. We're going to be in 10 years. I speak to them. I'm not saying that we're totally not social, but yeah, when we see each other, we speak. But it's not like we go out of our way. Like everyone's in different paths. Some of my advisor mates have like families now. Some of them are just like working. I feel like life takes you different ways, but I'm still cool with them. Like if I needed to talk to them or if they need to talk to me, we can just call each other. But we're not as tight as we used to be because we used to be in the same room every day. So they don't go out to lunch with me anymore. Anything else? So your guys' opinion of the program thus far?
I like it.
Well, like, what do you like? Give me some like substance, like, because we all like and dislike things. Like.
I like that I'm getting more into business because before I wasn't really getting a side of business on what I wanted to do. So here I'm actually like getting to start up my idea, get closer to my dream, and do things.
What's your
I
dream?
wanna do. I want to be able to sit in the office with my Louis Vuitton suit with a big Cuban cigar in my hand, looking out to my big buildings.
It doesn't have to be fake. It's just your way of envisioning things. What's your vision of success? If his is fake, I didn't see you.
No. I just the fake Cuban cigar. That's what I got.
Ain't nothing fake about me.
That's why I was like, why fake? I understand. All right, never mind.
You're gonna be really smoking out there. You're gonna be the one that just got it. Like, you know how to be the dude that they just got it. So it's like I don't even got late. You know I'm a boss, right? I have somebody else come light my cigar.
Somebody else.
So yeah, he pays someone separately to go walk into his office and light up the cigar.
I mean, if my business
Getting
is
back
doing
to
that well-
topic, guys. What's your vision of success before like lunchtime hits and Jody kicks me out?
I don't know. Just be happy. As long as I got a smile on my face, I really don't give a damn. So.
But you could like a real smile.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
an authentic smile, you know,
Yeah,
from the
like
heart, not
authentic,
the one where you like
real.
say cheese.
I
to
could
like,
be dead
I mean-
broke like on the street. As long as I got a smile on my face, I really don't care.
yeah.
As long as you're giving back, you're trying to give an impact to the society.
What happened?
As long as I'm giving back and giving an impact to society, I'm set. Just making my surroundings feel good.
Anything else? From you, what's your vision of success? Sorry, I'm gonna bother like the people that haven't spoken yet. I just want to like hear your voice or your tone of voice.
Mine, I would say like, kind of like what he said, but just chilling, have money.
Just chilling.
Okay.
It always comes down to having money, basically.
For now.
For now, yeah.
So you're gonna have someone with the scar too? Like you're gonna pay someone separate?
You're gonna just like the cigars together.
We're gonna be like them dudes at the mall, at the cigar shop. You know what I'm talking about? It
Sorry,
stinks.
what's yours again?
There's a living comfortable.
Something comfortable? Wayne, that's your stuff all the time.
Don't let me interrupt the party.
What's your vision of success?
I need to own like 10 houses.
10 houses?
Yeah.
10 houses.
Mansions.
Man.
10 mansions?
What's your square
Mansions.
footage? I just
I'm fine with one.
Yeah, how much? Give me one of those
Not
Newport
one,
mansions,
but
I'll be
10.
happy.
Your girl wants 10.
Not 9.5.
I
not 11.
I could have a mansion for each occasion.
You have a 10
One for the
okay.
summertime, one for the wintertime, one for the fall time, one for dances. Like,
One
How
time
we
for the
doing
winter.
here?
yeah, just
Things up,
one.
or-
You
No, we're
only
pretty
use
much
once a
like
year.
that.
That's it.
Trying to see like.
What everybody's definition of vision of success is?
Nothing else.
Yeah, that's
just that
really what my
one. It's
definition
just
of
used
success
once a
is.
year. Something random.
Okay.
It's changing. Yeah.
You want to wrap up, or you still got stuff to say? I don't want to.
No, I'll wrap up. I just talk a lot, so.
Any more questions? Burning questions? I missed it all, so I don't know where we're at. I'm just walking in the middle, so I'll shut up.
Anything else, guys? It was a pleasure speaking to you all. You can take my email or my phone number if you need help with anything, or Brandon or Jody will get you in contact with me if I can help you in any way. Just let me know.
Oh, well, what do you do when you're not like at school?
Yeah, when you take your free time.
So I used to work. For now, I'm unemployed. But what do I do?
You've talked about where you're you've talked about where you're at in school, right?
Yeah,
All right.
I'm a full-time student, so
But where are you? Like you've talked about studying abroad.
Yeah.
Where you've been? Okay.
yeah, I mentioned, yeah. I was in Barcelona. I let them know.
Where are you going next?
I'm going to India in the fall.
How has this not come? How have we not talked about this yet?
Because there's a lot to talk about. You know, I'm an interesting person, I think. So yeah, in the fall I got accepted into this Indian study abroad program. So my goal was to go study abroad, but I wanted to go for a full year. So I finagled my way. I've been taking classes every summer and winter thus far. So now I'm like ahead a semester and a half. So now I can like afford to go abroad a whole year. So like I could derail from my major a bit because I have like 4 classes left to finish, and then I could go to India and study art and go paint at a Buddhist temple. So that's
And this didn't come out how?
because there's a lot to talk about. I want like I could
Okay.
talk a lot about
No, we
myself. I
talking,
wanted to
we
like
was sitting there
interact with
talking
you guys
about
and see,
everything
like,
that he
what
already
you guys
did
think.
and nothing that he's gonna do. Like that was the thing. Like he
So-
got so much that he did. We never even got to really get to what he's gonna do.
Okay, so as a student, well, you're obviously still a student, but while you were matriculating in high school, did you ever go to any like after school programs for art at all?
So I did ACE, which is Architecture, Construction, Engineering program for 4 years, and I got a scholarship for them. So anyone interested in those careers, go do them. They give you a scholarship at the end of it. I also did the art program here at the school, but I usually just paint by myself.
Oh.
I
Do you just prefer to paint by yourself?
Yeah, I do prefer to paint by myself. It's more of like an emotional interaction with the paper.
Okay, excellent.
Did you talk about Dubai?
Yes.
Okay. So I have as teachers, we'll end up remembering a lot more about what you guys do, but
Yeah.
we were sitting in, were we in Abu Dhabi or I think we were in Dubai still, and we were sitting in this really weird,
The cafe.
well, there was a cafe which was awesome, but then we just happened to stumble into this really random spot, and Yoel wanted to paint, but he had forgotten his paints. So do you remember what you used to paint?
I had M&Ms. If you put them in water, you dilute the color, and then you have like very light watercolors.
So he started watercoloring with M&Ms. Wow. So my guess is he's just been doing art randomly all over this place.
Yeah, it's scattered in there, but I've never taken like, I took classes like in middle school, but I derailed from the classes. I just preferred, if I get lost, I just YouTube a video on like how to paint trees with certain things.
Okay.
But it's more of like my process, like painting and getting to learn the meaning. And that's how I got my scholarship too. They remembered my portfolio. I was the only person that submitted a full watercolor portfolio, even though I was advised not to by a lot of people. So.
Any other last minute burning questions before we move on? I wasn't here, but thanks, Yo-Yo.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
Yo-Yo.
you.
One question, whose pitch is exactly the same as the last time I heard it? Raise your hand if your pitch is exactly the same as the last time I heard it.
I'm not sure if you were here.
Or the last time I heard it.
The last time you presented it in class. Whose pitch is exactly the same as the last time presented it in class? What do you think I'm going to say next? Marilyn, what am I going to say next?
It shouldn't be.
Louder for me?
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be unless it's perfect and done and you didn't get any feedback. Right? Did you get feedback? Yeah. I just want to be clear of our expectations because I don't know how clear we've been. I think we've been, but I just want to be hyper clear. We're not doing this for sport. We're not doing this because we even particularly enjoy it. It gets old, we know that. But each time we give feedback, we should be incorporating that feedback. And I don't know if this came up with Yoel. Hopefully it did, maybe it didn't. But so much of the work happens outside of class. Tuesdays and Thursdays are still your days. They're set aside for you to come in and see us. Make an appointment or don't make an appointment. But he was annoying. Like annoying. And the best ones usually are annoying. They fight for the time. So please use the time that we have. Steal our time. It's your time. That's why we have jobs. You keep us employed, okay? We're here to work for you, all right? You don't work for us. We work for you. So if we're hearing the same pitch each time, we're not doing what we need to be doing. That's on you and that's on us. We're here to help you, but you've got to come seek us out. So I'll hear your pitch again, but I'm not that interested in hearing the same pitch over and over again. It gets boring for everybody, and I'm sure it
we
gets...
don't really even have time for feedback today.
Right. So let's just go rapid, right through them. Brian, you've already...
Hi,
It's probably against my will, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Imagine you're giving a pitch in front of 1,000 people. And if you're anything like me and 70% of the world's population, when you're stressed, you sweat. And what gives someone's nervousness them big old sweat stains on their shirt? Hello, my name is Brian Adornis, CEO and founder of Gentleman Essentials, where we make it our mission to stop one of the stinkiest problems of them all, sweat stains. By using an absorbent fabric, we've created a new line of undergarments to help you in high-stress situations like the one I mentioned before. Thank you.
Next up.
We're gonna throw some things out as we keep going. I would say if you smile during that,
Yeah.
it'll have a larger impact. When we smile, it's not just a visual, it comes out in your voice. And you're kind of playing on something that you want them to think is funny but real, right? Okay.
And words matter. You're missing some words in there. There's just a few words missing that are down on your paper that aren't coming out, that are connecting some dots. Some of the sentences just didn't make as much sense as they could have because there was missing words. Okay?
Oh, your hands up? Great. Next.
I'm scratching my head.
It's alright.
That's fine. You're going to have to go anyhow.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
We're just going this way?
Yeah. He just got you off the hook. But you're going next.
Being and remaining relevant in the fashion industry. I did it.
You see that smile that you have on your face? Why don't you keep that smile on your face for the rest of the pitch, okay? So his feedback was smile, your feedback, and everybody after was smile, right? So we should be finding that and seeing that. That's a great smile, by the way. I'd hate to, it'd be a terrible thing to waste.
Alright. Being and remaining relevant in the fashion industry is like finding a diamond in the
Whoa,
rough.
I love when you smile.
But I'm not finna fake a smile. I'm not gonna do that. I feel like I should smile when I feel it's most natural.
It won't
But
feel
why-
natural to smile
Yeah.
in front of 8
But
people
why-
judging you with $10,000 on the line. But it'll make a huge difference.
I feel
in
like
getting
that line
money.
isn't meant for a smile. I'll try it again. Being and remaining.
Yeah.
But that's not like, that's just me laughing from a fake smile though. It's not like.
So-
Whatever it is, find what it takes to make them smile.
I hear you. Really, I do.
Yeah.
And I guess what I'm asking for is not, and this is real, I'm not asking for a fake smile. I'm asking for a real smile. Like, I'm actually asking for you to be excited and, like, entertain these people and give them positive energy. I'm really asking for that. And it might be challenging, but I promise you it makes a big difference. That one right there. That smile right there.
Being and remaining relevant in the fashion industry is like finding a diamond in the rough. Designers attempt different styles and techniques to help keep consumers interested in their craft. For many people, it may not matter at all, seeing that not everyone is as passionate or interested about the clothing that they buy. But for the group of people who take time and interest in their clothing, this can mean a lot. A loss of creativity and unique ability in the fashion industry will diminish the overall selection of clothing for that group of customers and consumers, forcing them to buy from the big major companies who produce to the masses without any individuality. My business idea is to supply customers and consumers with authentic and creative clothing and apparel, from hats to shoes, but also to give them the chance to add personal touches onto any of their attire. If you not only want quality work, but for each piece of apparel to have substance and meaning, choose me, James Clements. So like off the bat, I already know like I have to memorize this. That's one thing I keep saying to myself in my head, like stop looking at the paper while I'm reading it.
Okay.
And just smile.
Smile. Then choose me, James Clements. Right at the point where you're like saying choose me, you're trailing off.
Yeah.
That's like the most important part. And then I can remember very specific feedback that I gave you about the word idea. What was it?
Oh, it's like it's not an idea anymore.
Get rid of it,
Yeah.
right? And it's still in there. That's you just crossing something off, all right? So the next time I hear this, I can't hear the word idea again because we've already talked about it, right?
Yeah.
So that's a little thing. Okay? Smile, energy, get off script. Don't put too much energy in getting off script because that's going to change. Your pitch is going to change. And before you memorize it, let's work on it. Find a time to come see me and let's work on it. There's too many words in there and not enough substance. But again, well written. It works well on paper, but sometimes out loud it's missing a little bit. All right? Let's work on it. That word idea's got to go. Own it. It's not an idea anymore. It's real.
Dog groomers can earn $100,000 a year, but how much of that are they? Oh my God. Okay.
What's your first line without that? Don't look. What's your first line?
Dog groomers can make $100,000 a year.
Is that a startling and exciting thing?
No, that's what I'm working on changing.
What's that?
That's what I'm working on changing.
Why? What are you changing about it?
I want to change it so that, like, I'm not speaking about the numbers, I'm speaking about, like, the importance of what I'm trying to do.
Okay. But right now you're speaking about the numbers, aren't you?
Yeah.
So own it.
I haven't changed it.
You haven't changed it, so own what you got. Is that an impressive statistic that who here thinks that dog groomers can earn $100,000 a year? Who hasn't heard Marilyn pitch 15 times to know that? Who knew that? Not many people. You're trying to shock people. Dog groomers can earn $100,000 a year. Dog groomers can earn $100,000 a year. Dog groomers can earn $100,000 a year. See the difference?
Dog groomers can earn $100,000 a year, but how much of that are they losing when clients cancel? Just one cancellation a week can cost almost $2,000 in 1 year. But in just 1 week, your pet can catch fleas and ticks on their dirty matted coats, so book with me, Marilyn Resto, where at Perfect Touch we provide transportation for the busier clients who have to make it to work, but also provide an app that sends out appointment reminders, and no call, no shows will be charged a $35 fee, encouraging clients to book with me, keeping everyone's pet safer.
So what are you changing for next time?
Making it sound more important instead of less numbers.
Less numbers. Okay. So I'm going to be looking for less numbers next time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What is she selling?
Dog grooming?
Dog grooming? Are you selling dog grooming?
Well, yeah, I'm selling, like, I don't know.
The
I don't
service
know how
of
to
picking,
explain. Yeah.
of picking the dog up.
Yeah, this.
So think about, and this again, feedback for everybody. What are you selling, and does that come across when you're giving us a pitch? And if you're not sure, come and see us. We want you to know what you want to do.
I'm going to do this real quick. If I go to Home Depot, this is Nick's thing. If I go to Home Depot and I go and I look for a drill and I buy a 1/4-inch drill bit, what am I buying? If I buy a 1/4-inch drill bit, what am I buying?
A piece to the drill.
Okay, a piece to the drill. What am I really buying? Why am I at Home Depot buying a 1/4-inch drill bit? What am I buying? What do I need? Do I need a 1/4-inch drill bit?
No.
What do I need?
A drill.
Nope. If I buy a 1/4-inch drill bit, what do I need?
You need to drill something.
I need to drill something. Because of why? What do I need?
1/4-inch.
What?
That?
A
Brian,
1/4-inch hole.
A 1/4-inch hole.
I need a 1/4-inch hole. Do I need a clean dog? Or do I need a clean dog? Or do I need a dog that I can pet and I don't feel slimy and greasy and my hands stink afterwards? Do I want a dog that I can lie next to and not smell like a dog after I'm done lying next to him? Or do I need a dog groomer? What do I really need from you? Am I buying dog grooming? This is not just to you. Am I buying shirts or am I buying confidence? Am I buying shirts or am I buying confidence? Am I buying dog grooming services or am I buying a clean home? a non-stinky house. Right? Do you see the difference there? Like, what am I really there for? Am I there for the drill bit, or am I there for the 1/4-inch hole at my house that I need to solve this, or that I need in my house? So think about what I'm really buying. Does that make sense? Ask yourself why people are going to buy your stuff or contract with you. Is it because they need a 1/4-inch drill bit, or do they need the hole that the drill bit creates? Right? And you talk a little bit about that, but why really? What's the big benefit? What do I really need? What problem am I solving? Leah, I'll shut up.
Hello, everybody. Did you know that as many as 25% of Americans will suffer an allergic skin reaction due to beauty products? That's 1 out of 4. There have also been found more than 3,700 substances to be known as contact allergens. I will help people find the right products that don't contain allergic ingredients like essential oils, fragrances, or toxic chemicals. There are many well-known companies that make natural products, but still have ingredients that will cause irritation to the skin. My products will benefit everyone the natural way.
What's she selling?
Natural products.
Is that what you're selling? Natural products?
So are a bunch of other people in your pitch. What are you selling?
What am I selling?
Well, you tell us in your pitch there's lots of companies that sell natural products. Is that what you're selling?
Yeah.
No difference?
Oh, they don't cause allergic skin reactions.
Okay. So are you selling peace of mind? That I can take any of these products, put them on my skin, and I don't have to worry about an allergic reaction? The next time you reach into your medicine cabinet, or the next time you reach into your cosmetics bag, do you have to worry that you're going to have an allergic reaction, even though on the outside the products might say natural? Well, with my company, we make products that give you peace of mind. You don't have to worry about an allergic reaction to any of our ingredients, because we don't use any ingredients that are known allergens. I don't know, right? Really drive home what it is you're doing for your customer. Really differentiate yourself based off of non-allergenic, non-allergic, right? Okay.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind. It's different. Peace of mind is different than a non-allergenic product, right? Safety, comfort, security, knowing that I don't have to worry about any product I buy from you. I don't ever have to question. It's like I go into Whole Foods and everybody thinks it's organic, but 95% of the stuff in there isn't organic. So I have to worry, I have to look at labels. Imagine walking into a store where you don't have to worry about anything in there being organic or not, because everything is organic. That's peace of mind. That's ease, right? That sets me at ease, okay? That's a little different.
When you've had a long and stressful day at school and you've just finished all your homework, what's the first thing that kids this day and age will do for the rest of the time they have? Phones and electronics, Xbox, PS4, whatever. But you and I both know that too much screen time is not good for you. So the parent will always tell you to get off your phone. But what then? What will you do with the time that you have now? But I have a solution. How would you do some origami? Hi, my name is Gabriel Wellings, founder of Art of the Crane. I sell unique and creative origami products for kids and adults to enjoy. I will also host a class that will teach the history of origami and how to teach people to fold paper into art. So come on, get off your phone and let's fold.
Who here wants to get off their phone? Who here likes being told to get off your phone? Who here has started a business
Here,
around?
stand up. You're still on.
Who here has started a business around getting people off their phone and failed miserably? I have. We should talk, because you're spot on. But some people don't like to be told that. I've learned the hard way. So we got to show them that it's fun. Not tell them what not to do, but give them really exciting things to do instead, which you do. You talk about that. Anybody feel like, yeah, I didn't want to be told to get off my phone? Did anybody feel that way, or no, like I was just indifferent? This is not a rhetorical question. I'm actually looking for an answer.
I just felt indifferent.
You felt what?
Indifferent.
Okay, indifferent?
I would have to say the same. Indifferent.
Okay.
Did you feel he was talking to you?
A little bit, but
Yeah.
not as much as definitely you could have.
Okay.
Not really, because for the majority of the time we were like really monitoring, so it was hard to keep my focus.
You know there's cell phone addiction? You can talk about that. There's a real thing.
Okay.
Alright.
Have you ever went to go get a keychain that had your name on it and couldn't find it? Well, I could fix that problem. I'm Andre and I'm here to present you with my custom novelty keychains. Whatever you envision on a keychain, I can make it happen. Family photos, logos, or maybe even a mini business card on a keychain. The possibilities are endless, really.
Really?
How come you always smile right at the end? Because you're done? Because you're excited to be done? Has anybody ever like heard the end of like a drug commercial where they list all the side effects really quickly?
Yeah, just so you know, like, that way you don't know half of the stuff
Yeah.
that they're saying.
Right in the middle, it sounds like a drug commercial. I'm going to tell you all these things really quick. Can you do that again for me, a little slower in the middle? And with a little loud. The volume was nice. The energy was a little bit like.
Yeah.
Be excited.
Before you start, one thing.
Have you ever went to go get a keychain that had your name on it and couldn't find it? Well, I could fix that problem. I'm Andre and I'm here to present you with my custom novelty keychains. Whatever you envision, I can make it happen. Family photos, logos, or maybe even a mini business card on a keychain. The possibilities are endless, really.
Who noticed the difference? I noticed the difference. Truly. I noticed a difference. Thank you. I did.
Jewelry has ran in my family for 30 years, and I'm very passionate about it.
You are?
Wow.
I
You really sound passionate. Wow. I am very passionate.
Yes.
I am really passionate about teaching this class. I'm so excited to be at this class. Entrepreneurship is my favorite thing. When I get up in the morning, I'm like, oh my God, I get to teach entrepreneurship today? Amazing. I'm going to see Ricky today. I'm going to let Ricky know I'm so excited to see Ricky. Hey, Ricky. I'm excited to see you.
Alright. Jewelry has ran in my family for 30 years, and I'm very passionate about it. I've worked with jewelry.
I'm really excited to see Ricky. If I knock on this table, I'm going to be really passionate.
Drums.
I'm going to knock on this table and
And now, here's.
That was good. Ricky! Take it away, Ricky. Why don't you step back so you can't knock on the table and you'll show us your passion in a different way.
Jewelry has ran in my family for 30 years, and I'm very passionate about it.
Oh, that was good.
I've been
That was
working
good.
with jewelry.
Come on, man. Can someone stand up and tell me, like, show that they're, who here is not passionate about jewelry, and stand up and show them that you're more passionate about jewelry than Ricky is.
Jewelry has been in my family for 30 years, and I'm so passionate about it.
You know, like this
Yeah, let's see somebody else. Who else is passionate about it? Jay, let's see you passionate about jewelry.
You won't even smile.
Yeah, but let's just make it seem like it.
You gotta imagine you got a rollie on your wrist. That's what it is.
Go ahead, Rashawn. Show us your passion about jewelry.
All right. All right. My
Jewelry has
Just
been-
show us.
Julie has ran in my family for 30 years, and I'm very passionate about it.
Very passionate about it. Yeah, it's a little bit more, right?
I don't
All right, come on. Take that smile. Give us some energy. I mean, you really are passionate about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that not everybody shows their passion in the same way. I understand that. But this is the first impressions matter. I get that we've seen it a bunch of times, we've heard it, but we're acting as if we're in front of somebody for the first time ever. And if I don't believe that you're passionate about it, it's gonna be really hard for me to listen to what comes next. Like, truly, I'm not lying. James, I'm not lying, really. I know you might not wanna smile, but I'm not lying when I tell you that when someone sees a smile on your face, they think, here's a person that's so excited to be in front of me, and I'm gonna give them my time and energy and attention. If I walked in here every time with a solemn face and I talked at the same volume,
You got teachers like that.
I don't think you'd wanna listen. You gotta make them wanna hear what you have to say. So make us want to hear what you have to say. Make us as passionate about jewelry as we know that you really are.
Alright. I'm gonna try to do that.
Alright.
Alright. Jewelry has ran in my family for 30 years, and I'm very passionate about it. I've been working with jewelry for 5 years, and I want to make sure that you get the best quality in your jewelry possible. I believe that all jewelry has a story behind it. I want to help you tell yours. Come down to my shop where we manufacture all beautiful, high-quality pieces, and we'll work together to make sure that you get the piece that best fits you.
Someone give them some very concrete feedback about what passion looks like. What does passion look like? Does passion look like a hand in a pocket?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Nope.
But you did. Your hand didn't even go up, and he asked. That's
What
not
else?
this. You're in the wrong class.
Passion doesn't look like a hand in a pocket. Don't let me say the next thing. What else? What did Giselle do when she showed passion for something she's not even passionate about?
Enthusiasm.
Smile shows passion. Hand out of the pocket. What else?
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. So how do you communicate? So enthusiasm. What does enthusiasm look like? How do I?
Emphasizing certain words.
Emphasizing certain words,
You
tone, intonation. Go ahead.
You gotta,
You gotta what?
you gotta sound excited. You feel me? You gotta sound like this is the best thing ever, and like everybody needs to get a piece of jewelry from you.
But
and
here's-
this is why.
But here's
Like,
what we're doing wrong. I think we're not saying what. So yeah, be excited, be enthusiastic. What does that mean? Very specific. How do you do that?
So raise your voice.
Raise my voice, lower my voice at some spots. What else? There's another thing. Hand out of the pocket. Then what happens with the hand?
Hand gestures.
Hand gesture.
And eye contact.
Good kid.
Eye contact.
Sometimes even like
This.
Tell them. Tell them.
I would have to say like changing word. Like when you say 30 years, say 3 decades.
Whoa.
Sounds more impactful.
That's right. That is true. That's a very valid.
So think about that for everyone. We did that when you said 25% or 22, remember? And we're like, yeah, 1 out of 4. So think about your numbers, think about your words.
Are
think
you
about your
proud of
body
that 30
language.
years?
Yeah.
Really? Are you proud? I mean, I would be pretty proud of my parents if they were in the jewelry business for 30 years, right?
Yeah.
Let that show. Envision them, right? You got nice clothes on.
You want to
I'm sure that was paid for by jewelry, right? That's a big deal. That's impressive. Sorry, you were
No,
saying.
no, no. I would say the same thing for everyone. Like, what's impressive about your industry or your story? You have a story. Everyone has a story to be told with jewelry. You might start with the story about jewelry. This is the first ring I ever received. I was 1. The jewelry industry was declining. Many of you might know it still is. But my family's been in the jewelry business for the last 30 years successfully. That's a lot to say about someone in the jewelry business. And I want to take the next step and go in the jewelry business myself. I've been an intern, I've had experience, I've been a sponge around successful jewelry makers. And now I want to show you what I can do. And then you show maybe one of your pieces. Whatever. But you've got to tell a story. If you're going to tell us jewelry tells a story, I think.
First line, enthusiasm, hand gestures, loud, energy, big, whatever you want. Give me the first line. I don't need to hear the rest of the pitch. I just need enthusiasm, excitement, hand something to show me. And you don't need that phone. Yeah, put that phone down.
I gotta read through it.
No, you don't. You really don't. Put it down.
Just really quick.
Your family's been in the jewelry business for 30 years. I know it. You know it. Do you have to think about how long your family's been in the jewelry business? That's your story. That's second nature to you.
Yeah. Alright. My family's been in the jewelry business for 30 years, and I'm very passionate about it.
First part, you had it.
Anybody believe him?
I still don't believe you.
I still don't believe you.
I think they've been in the business for 30 years.
I think
a lot of people have been in business for 30 years.
Is that an impressive? Are you trying to say that that's impressive?
Yeah, I guess.
Do you believe? My family has been in the jewelry business for 30 years.
Try that.
Say that. 30 years.
Alright. My family's been in the jewelry business for 30 years.
It's already an
Everybody see the
improvement.
difference? I mean, he's mocking Brandon, and that's great, but when you do it and own it, it will come out.
I'm gonna get you off the hook, but this feedback for everybody, think about why you're saying the thing that you're saying. If 1 in 4 is a big number, if 100,000 is a big number, if 70% of people is a big number, and you're trying to communicate that's a big number, go big. Don't go small. 70%. 70%. 70%. Use your body. Use your excitement. Use your voice. You've got a lot of tools. But
Remember your picture, Ariel?
Some of it.
Alright.
you've got tools. So it's hard for me to say,
Well, then.
be passionate, be excited. No. Change your volume of your voice. Use your hands. Smile. Gesticulate. Do things. And so I'm giving you those tools. I'm telling you those tools. We can practice them, but it's not enough for me to just say, be passionate, be excited. All right.
Believe it or not, your car speaks on your character. Question is it saying what it should? Hi, my name is Vashawn Gomes, CEO and founder of VG Auto Detailing. And I'm here to tell you about your car's worst enemy, the weather. Whether autumn leaves underneath your engine, whether underneath your hood, summer sands from the beach all over your interior, consistent rainfall of spring, or worst of all, winter corrosion from the streets being paved in salt. My only mission is to ensure your car's longevity and restore your pride and ownership. Thank you. Oh, I missed a part. Can I start again?
Yeah, please. So do me a favor, when you do it again, slower and articulate more.
All right.
There are really good words in there. I'm losing some of them. We've talked about this before. You know what I'm talking
It's
about,
like
right?
a bubble or can I get like some water or something real fast? Believe it or not, your car speaks on your character. Question is it saying what it should? Hi, my name is Vashawn Gomes, CEO and founder of VG Auto Detailing, and I'm here to tell you about your car's worst enemy, the weather. Whether autumn leaves underneath your hood, summer sands all over your interior, consistent downfall of spring rain, and worst of all, winter corrosion from the streets being paved in salt. My only mission is to ensure your car's longevity and restore your pride and ownership. So just keep in mind, for every season, there's a reason. Thank you.
Alright.
I believed you. We're going to work on it. I believed you, though. I really did. I believed what you were saying.
So do you have the word weather, WHETR, whatever?
No,
after you say weather, like the weather.
Like weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The weather.
Yeah, you do. You have
Say
two.
weather within
'Cause you
like
should-
two
Make the
words
point, yeah.
of each other, weather
Yeah.
and weather. Two different meanings, but it sounds the same.
Yeah, because I think you should maybe switch that around so that you're not saying weather and weather back to back.
Yeah, I just picked up on that. Like literally just picked up on that.
Yeah, when you say it out loud, it's different than when you write it,
Yeah.
right? So when you say it out loud, all of a sudden you realize that two weathers next to each other, it's hard. It's a tongue twister. Get rid of them.
All right.
Nice pickup, Giselle.
You should be saying this out loud at this point, in the shower, at home, in front of friends, advisory, walking down the street alone.
I just never picked up
Think
on
you're
it.
crazy. You want to say it out loud as much as possible. All right, who's next? Nope.
I got like 3 sentences.
You better say those 3 sentences.
You obviously know what's happening here. Like, no excuses at this point. Let's hear it. You got something. Stick your hand out of your pocket. Thank you.
He was
Nice
there.
catch,
He was
man.
there.
That was beautiful.
He was
You
there.
were there.
Okay, I don't know.
You watched everyone do it. You do know.
Alright. A survey of parents suggests 1 in 45 children ages 3 through 17 have been diagnosed with autism. This is notably higher than the official government estimate, which is 1 in 68. My goal is to make T-shirts, hoodies, etc. to fit the needs of an autistic child or young adult.
Tell them. Okay.
Or young, yeah. That's what I thought.
Okay. What are you selling?
I'm selling shirts and hoodies, just accessories.
Take your hands out of your pocket.
I got you.
What's it? What? Anyone think he's selling anything different?
I have a question.
Anyone else? Hang on to your question. Anyone think he's selling anything different? We're still in this conversation. He's selling T-shirts and hoodies.
Etc. Just like
There's no etc. Believe me, you gotta be specific in the picture. You lose them. I get you.
He's trying to sell. He's trying to sell the problem of the misdiagnosis of autism.
Is that what you're trying to do?
Like from what I'm getting, because
I'm trying to like just
Take hands out of
show.
your
I'm
pocket.
trying to show people that autism is actually a thing and just that people do have and they're diagnosed with it. So I wanted to make it known like worldwide so that people just like they can just acknowledge that people with disability, people have disabilities and people need help with those disabilities because they have coping, like they cope differently than us people, like than usual people really do. So like they do different things than we do. So like they fidget a lot and like they have like sensory details and just a lot.
Anyone believe him? I believe him.
I believe that a whole
I believe
lot
that
more
way
than I
more
believe
than
what
what
you
I
just
heard.
did. Did anybody connect with what he was saying just there? Where were you speaking from? Not with your hands here. You were you were gonna touch your heart. I get it. You were gonna say I was speaking from my heart.
Yeah.
That's a great example of what happens when we connect with what's really important to us.
Yeah.
I believed you 10 times more than I believed what you said before because you were speaking from experience and you were speaking from your heart. You used your hands. You didn't want to put your hands in your pockets. You were using your hands to try to show the size of the problem, right? It's a big deal. I believed you.
Yep.
Second time through.
I think so. Yep.
A smile is a terrible thing to
Woo!
waste.
Oh, this guy's always smiling. He can't help it.
The top 3 things inner city kids face are poverty, broken families, and street violence. I witnessed many young brains flushed away to the streets and later institutionalized. These kids aren't given the tools and inspiration needed to succeed, which is what I give them through style and comfort. My clothing line, Wooda Tag, meaning work until dollars a pair, then achieve greatness, gives kids the push and motivation they need. I've already sold roughly 200 products to inner city youth, and I know that with the positive vibes of my clothing line, the setbacks of the inner city are subject to change.
And then you turn around and you say, what's the name of your company?
Wooda Tag.
Really loud.
Wooda Tag.
I have one. The next time I see this, we're gonna go baby steps. We'll go smile next because I think that'll be harder. Nick already proved this point that you know at least that first line. I think you know the whole thing.
I just made this one.
Oh.
You gotta connect with the eyes, right? And I understand that you don't want to smile in the beginning because it's not anything to smile about, but it is something to connect with people, right? And let them know, because they can see how passionate you are through your eyes, but I can't see if you're looking down the whole time. So give yourself an opportunity to connect with people individually. Pause, look up from that paper, okay? I want you to write that down. Look up from the paper, because that's what I'm looking for next time. And if I don't see the things that I'm asking for next time, this might be encourage you to do it, but I'm going to just ask you to sit down, right? We're not going to keep going through the same things over and over again. I want to see that stuff. So next time, I just want to see you make eye contact. It'll go a long way.
Sean.
I want to take you back to the time you got your first car, but I want to add a little twist to it. When you bought your car, what the dealer and or person didn't tell you was there was no oil in it. Windshield wiper's broken, and there's a back tail light out. Hi, my name's Sean McGonagall's Auto Lessons, and I'm here to teach you about the basics of automotive needs. Parents, you're always scared. You don't want your kid stuck on the side of the road, and the last thing you want is for them to not know their car. They're going to be driving in it every day, so why not know it? Come to me. Thank you.
Feedback?
Kudos for going on top of that head.
Thank you. You're the only one who probably noticed.
When you said off the top of your head, you mean you just made it up on the spot? Or you mean?
I mean, like, I thought a little bit into it. I wanted to add the parrots thing because I was going to originally say my entire thing from last time, but I remember you said to incorporate someone with the parents because those are more my target teens are more my end users. So
I'll say two things, and we're going to focus on words because you had them. Not many people in here might have the experience of buying their first car yet or think back to buying your first car.
Yeah.
You got to know your audience, right?
Yeah.
You got to play to the audience. And the second thing is, I don't know that those things ring true. Where were you buying your car? An out tail light? No oil change? Those things don't happen when you buy a car. Like they should.
You never know, but like
you don't. But generally,
it's
they're not letting you drive off the lot with a tail light out. And it's possible. Anything's possible. But if we're gonna go problems, let's make sure we're hitting on real problems. Because I haven't had that experience.
Like,
I'm doubtful if you. So let's make sure if we're gonna hit problems, we hit real problems.
Yeah.
Because if we strike out with the first three problems, well, actually,
You could say like like the tire pressure, like checking fluids and stuff like that. That's more like
Or
basic.
O2 sensors, since those are always going out.
yeah. You drive off the lot, and a sensor goes off 5 miles down the road. What does it mean? Giselle, and then Carla, and then lunch.
I like your first line, but you didn't give me time to think about it.
Alright.
Someone once told me, you think about race and sexuality a lot. My response, yeah, of course I do. My race, my sexuality, my culture, these are the lenses through which I view my life. The LGBTQ plus community, along with blacks, Hispanics, Asians, and other minorities, what do we all have in common? We need more representation in mainstream media outlets. And when we are the topic of discussion on these outlets, we are typically misrepresented. My name is Giselle Vasquez, and I am the founder of Represent, a clothing line meant to represent those on the margin with respect, unite communities, and break boundaries. Thank you.
Good way to incorporate feedback too to the school. Doesn't just, right? We all talked about the last class. Doesn't go on and on. Like among these, nice transition.
Thank you.
Hi. Imagine all the stress of planning a wedding. A million things to worry about in a crunched amount of time. Don't let food be one of them. Carlita Sabor can help you with that. We provide authentic Guatemalan and Ecuadorian food that will cater to all your needs. We'll give your guests that home-cooked sabor that will make your special day delicious. With foods like our arroz con gandules and tostones con ceviche. Call us to make any event delicious. My name is Carla Diaz. Thank you for your time.
Okay. All right. Friday's a half day. Who's coming to school? Well, that's good. That's good to see hands. Who's coming to class?
It's the only reason why
I'm
I'm
only
coming
coming
to
to
school.
school for
All right, so we'll see you at 10. We'll probably get done at 11 so you can get back to your advisory before the big break. But come in at 10 Friday.
See me tomorrow. Thursday, right? See me tomorrow. Work on pitches.